Hello and welcome to my first of my end of league projects. This project was to do 1,000 Cirrus maps and 250 of the invitations and record all the drops. The two types that I did was City Square and Mesa. Mesa's, I was using one less Voidstone, so I could get tier 15s to drop, meaning I could Horizon or other maps into Mesa. And then City Square, I had all my favorite ones on. As far as costs, my maps I valued at around 0.4 divines each. And invites to them, I valued at about 2 divines each. I needed around 375 Exalted Orbs in order to make all the invitations have 6 mods. I also then valved those invitations. I needed a large number of Horizon Orbs. I estimated about 3,000 to make my tier 15s into Mesa. I used both map and divination scarabs, which would increase my map drops and my divination cards. As far as compasses, I used Harbinger, and I used the Conqueror map drops on completing the map. All told, I spent about 1,138 divines in the cost. It's an expensive one, but the profit is there if you do run them. So we'll put these back. So as far as my returns, I got 175 of the invites back. So 175 of the Elderslayer's invites. I value those at about 2 divine each, just because it's to buy them in bulk. As far as other invites, I didn't get all that many of the other ones, but I got 4 of each, both formed and twisted. Not worth that much comparatively. They're only worth about a divine each. Another big one for money was Maven's Words. So if we go over here, I got 143.8 Maven's Words. That's another 575 divines in value. My crests, I got 310 approximately on average for each of them, which was also a nice big 600 divine. 300 divines approximately in value from those. I did get some scarab returns, but unfortunately they weren't worth all that much. And I'll be posting the full list of what I got on. I'll try to make a list somewhere. I originally went into the Rogue Exiles. I've changed that over to running full into Delirium. So I got 34 Delirium, so similar Achems, and I got almost 300, so 293 Delirium Orbs, which was a fairly big chunk. That's about 120 for those two combined. Awakened Gems, I did get 43 Awakened Gems. Only 2 of them were Awakened Elemental damage. And at this point in the league, Awakened Gems are not worth all that much. But that is something to take into account if you're doing this early league. Mortal Fragments, I did get 5 Mortal Fragments, but over 1,000 runs, that's not all that much, and it's not all that relevant. I did also get 3 of these nice puzzle boxes drop, which is a little bit of profit, but not too much. It's not that relevant of one. Chaos Orbs. So Chaos Orbs I got quite a few of. I got 1,959 Chaos Orbs. The Chaos Orbs, if you're running, let's say, one of the nice cheap ones like Essences, you can basically sustain your Chaos Orbs. As Essences is 2, it does add up, as it is nice, especially if you're solo self-found or anything. That said, getting all these compasses, if you're solo self-found, would be almost impossible. As far as nice orbs, we got 341 orbs of annulment. They are useful and they do sell. It's more something that you'll sell off to crafters in bulk, and you get about 1 divine per 14. The ancient orbs, I got about 300 of them, so 299.45. I don't think they're useful for anything right now, but if it does have something that's really useful later on come up, it is a nice source of ancient orbs as well. Fractured orbs, I didn't get all that many. I got 4.55. That said, fractured orbs are quite expensive this league, so they're around 130 divines for the 4.5 fractured orbs. So, and then if we go to the more exotic currency, I got 51 orbs of conflict. I valued them at about 1 divine each. That said, they are more expensive than a divine this league. It's closer to where you can get 1.5 divines or so. For the exalted orbs, the hunter, I got 18 of them, and then I got 33 of the redeemers, 15 of the crusaders, and 19 of the warlords. For raw divines, I got 5 raw divines. Raw divines are relatively rare. No, I don't believe I got any of them from bosses. Delirium, I think once or twice gave me that, and just killing random trash mobs on the way to the bosses did give me, I think, 1 or 2 of the other ones, and I think I got 1 off the Harbingers. Off the Harbinger trash. They're not a common item. I did record how many 6 links I have, although they are basically worthless at this point in the league. But if you're early in the league, I did get 2 of those drop. It's not something that I would consider all that relevant, but even with the number of maps, it's just not going to be worth it. As far as map returns, I recorded for the top tiers. So tier 12s, I got 164. 13s, I got 128. The tier 14s, I got 110. The tier 15s, I got 147. And the tier 16s, I got 657. I do think if I redo it, I'll probably have a much higher number of tier 16s, just because of some of the stuff that I found after finishing all the runs. For a Shaper and Elder, you get really close to 1 every 4 maps if you have spec'd into, if you look at the top of the tree, if you've spec'd into the Remnants of the Past and Conquerors and Vivid Memories. The Remnants of the Past, I got 246 Shaper and 248 Elder. It can be useful, especially if you're going to be jumping between them. As Shaper and Elder, I think, have better as far as the token. So the crests, I think, are the worst of the 3. With Elder being the best and Shaper being in the middle. The running difficulty I find is the opposite. So Elder I find is the most annoying to run. Then Shaper. Then Cirrus is the easiest if you have good maps. As far as the Cirrus map drops, I found that I got 509 of the bad ones, so the ones that weren't tier 15 and weren't city square, and then I got 655 of the good ones, so the tier 15 or the city square. The tier 15 this league can be converted over to mesas. If in a later league you have, let's say, a really nice tier 16, it's going to make it much easier due to the fact that having the 4 Voidstones will enable them to always be tier 16. As far as synthesized maps, I got 52. which are useful. They're a nice quick one to run, and the invite is almost worthless for them. It's a really fast, nice, and easy one. The invites drop in too high of numbers to make them worth anything, meaning you can just do them and grab the quick Maven invites for the Maven things. Cortexes, I got 19 Cortexes. Now, later on, I will also be doing, when I do the divination cards, that also increases the number of Cortexes that I dropped from 19 to a bit over 30. Which is helpful. As if you're running, let's say, Feared or something, that is going to be helpful with the numbers. For divination cards next, I got... Let's see... If we go over the divination cards... So, a Fate Worse Than Death. I got 49 of those. It's quite a useful one, as it gives you Cortex. And then... Demophobia, I got 221. I've been handing them in just to get more delirium orbs, as those you can sell in bulk. Justified Ambition is another big one. It's for a census map, and I got 327 of those. As far as the more special ones, to remove full stack due to the fact that I don't know. So we have the Strategist. Which gives it inspired learning. And so if your build needs inspired learning, it can be useful. That said, I only got 11 in the 1,000 runs, so it's close to 1 in 100. Council of Cats is much more common, and that gives a Feral's item. So if you happen to need, let's say, Feral's Fur, it does give that, although it is nowhere near as good as some of the other ones. The Sinless, I got 6 of them, meaning I got a Bottled Faith during the run. I personally, especially this league, would be running Cortexes if I needed Bottled Faith, but it does give you an alternate path to that. Disdain, I got, which is a 1/5 of a Delirium Orb, I got 53 of, which, if you need Delirium Orbs, it is something, but that was basically a stack of Demophobia, just in the number. The Eternal War could be interesting. It's a timeless jewel with a 2 implicit and corrupted. It's something that it may be good. It just depends if it's a timeless jewel that someone needs. It's not an expensive card. As far as the last one is the Love Through Ice, I got 2 of them. So I didn't get I got 3 of them. So I didn't get all that many of them. But it is also it is the most expensive, I believe, of their divination cards that they can drop. So it is a nice one. The Fortunate, I got 16 of. So I didn't get all that many. I got also 25 of the Lingering Remnants. It's a useful item, as the Val Temple is a good map, but it's not anything big. For the divination cards, the big ones were the Fate Worse Than Death, and then Demophobia and Justified Ambition. That's most of the drops as far as all the big ones. I got about 2,471 Divine Orbs approximately, meaning I made quite good profit doing these maps. I also did carry people for the challenge, as there's 2 challenges that it involved this league, and they're both late ones. So Eldritch Endgame required you to witness the map boss and Dominated Domains require you to be there for the Elder Slayers, the various guardians. So I also got about 250 divines in tips during the process. It's approximately 54 divines an hour running them, if you do it about as fast as I did, which is about a minute and a half. It's overall, I think it's a nice grind. Things that I would be changing if I decide to do it again is I'd be doing all tier 16. So instead of being short one Voidstone, I would be using them all. So I would sacrifice any more mesas and have all the maps be city square. Just because even if I have a slightly smaller number of maps returning as good, it saves so much time rolling maps with horizon orbs, and it's just not worth your time sitting there rolling maps. Unfortunately, it was really hard to get any of the maps in bulk, so when I was looking for them, occasionally people would have a few, but it was never any big numbers. So if you do have any questions, comment and I can try to answer them. And please like and subscribe. And thank you.